Hello, my name is Theo van Lingen. This reading is an excerpt from the book The Wind and the Willows by Kenneth Grahame. In this reading, we find two friends, Rat and Mole, on a journey when they come across Mole's home and decide to take a break and visit there for an unplanned dinner to make Mole feel better. This is my reading for Christmas 2020 at the St. Anargyroi Church. "What a capital little house this is," he called out cheerily. "So compact, so well planned. Everything here and everything in its place. We'll make a jolly night of it. The first thing we want is a good fire. I'll see to that. I always know where to find things. So this is your parlor. Splendid. Your own idea, those little sleeping bunks in the wall? Capital. Now I'll fetch the wood and the coals and you'll get a duster. Mole, you'll find one in the drawer of the kitchen table. And try to smarten things up a bit. Bustle about, old chap." Encouraged by his inspiriting companion, the Mole roused himself and dusted and polished with energy and heartiness, while the Rat, running to and fro with arms full of fuel, soon had a cheerful blaze roaring up the chimney. He hailed the Mole to come and warm himself, but the Mole promptly had another fit of the blues, dropping down on the couch in dark despair and burying his face in his duster. "Rat," he moaned, "how about your supper? You poor, cold, hungry, weary animal. I've got nothing to give you. Nothing. Not a crumb." "What a fellow you are for giving in," said Rat reproachfully. Why, only just now I saw a sardine opener on the kitchen dresser, quite distinctly, and everyone knows that means there are sardines somewhere in the neighborhood. Rouse yourself, pull yourself together, and come forage with me." They went and foraged accordingly, hunting through every cupboard and turning out every drawer. The result was not so very depressing after all, though the course of it might have been better: a tin of sardines, a box of Captain's biscuits, nearly full, and a German sausage encased in silver paper. "There's a banquet for you," observed the Rat, as he arranged the table. "I know some animals would give their ears to be sitting down to supper with us tonight." "No bread," groaned the Mole dolorously. "No butter. No pâté de foie gras. No champagne," continued the Rat, grinning. "And that reminds me. What's that little door at the end of the passage? Your cellar, of course. Every luxury in this house. Just you wait a minute." He made for the cellar door and presently reappeared, somewhat dusty, with a bottle of beer in each paw and another under each arm. Self-indulgent beggar you seem to be, Mole," he observed. "Deny yourself nothing. This is really the jolliest little place I ever was in. Now, wherever did you pick up those prints? Make the place look so home-like they do. No wonder you're so fond of it, Mole. Tell us all about it, and how you came to make it what it is." Then the Rat busied himself fetching plates and knives and forks and mustard, which he mixed in an egg cup. The Mole, his bosom still heaving with the stress of his recent emotion, related, somewhat shyly at first, but with more freedom as he warmed to the subject, how this was planned and how this was thought out, and how this got through a windfall from his aunt, and that was a wonderful find and a bargain. And this other thing was bought out of the laborious savings and a certain amount of going without. His spirits finally quite restored, and he must needs go and caress his possessions, and take a lamp to show off their points to his visitors, expatiate on them, quite forgetful, and of the supper they both so much needed. Rat, who was desperately hungry, but strove to conceal it, nodding seriously, examining with puckered brow, saying "wonderful" and "most remarkable" at intervals when a chance for observation was given him. At last the Rat succeeded in decoying him to the table, and had just got seriously to work on the sardine opener when sounds were heard from the forecourt, without sounds of scuffling of small feet in the gravel and confused murmur of tiny voices, while broken sentences reached them. "Now all in a line. Hold the lantern up a bit, Tommy. Clear your throats first. No coughing after I say 1, 2, 3. Where's young Bill? Here, come on. We're all waiting. What's up? Inquired the rat, pausing his labors. I think it must be field mice, replied Mole, a touch of his pride in his manner. They go around carol singing regularly at this time of year. They're quite an institution in these parts. They never pass me over. They come to Mole End last of all, and I used to give them hot drinks and supper too sometimes, when I could afford it. And it will be like old times to hear them once again. Let's have a look at them, cried the rat, jumping up and running to the door. It was a pretty sight, and a seasonable one, that met their eyes when they flung open the door. In the forecourt, lit by dim rays of a horn lantern, some 8 or 10 little field mice stood in a semicircle, red Wursten comforters round their throats, and their forepaws thrust deep into their pockets, their feet jingling for warmth. With the bright, beady eyes, they glanced shyly at each other, snickering a little, sniffling and applying coat sleeves a good deal. As the door opened, one of the elder ones carried the lantern, was just saying, "Now then, 1, 2, 3." And forthwith their shrill little voices uprose on the air, singing one of the old-time carols that their forefathers composed in the fields that they fallowed and held by frost, or when snow bound the chimney corners, and handed down to be sung in the miry street lamps lit windows at Yuletime. This is the carol. Villagers all, this frosty tide, let your doors swing open wide. Though the wind may follow, the snow beside, yet draw us in by your fire to bide. Joy shall be yours in the morning. Here we stand in the cold and the sleet, blowing fingers and stamping feet. Come far and away, you to greet, you by the fire, we in the street, bidding you joy in the morning. For ere 1/2 of the night was gone, sudden a star has led us on, raining bliss and benison, bliss tomorrow and more anon, joy forever in the morning. Goodman Joseph toiled through the snow, saw a star o'er the stable below. Mary, she may not further go, welcome thatch and litter below, joy was hers in the morning. And they all heard angels tell, who were the first to cry Noel. Animals all, as it befell, in the stable they did dwell, joy shall be theirs in the morning. Have a Merry Christmas.